Oh, I wonder what he says.
You got your umbrellas out because it's
Hold
about
on,
to start raining with my tears. I'm going to go on a passionate rant here, and it might ruffle a few feathers, but you know what? Facts don't care about your feelings, and I'm about to start spitting those. There are so many people whining about Elden Ring's DLC being too hard. Let that sink in for a moment. For actual years now, one of the most prevalent memes in the gaming community is how bad game journalists are at the games they review, so the community has constantly dropped trouser and taken a shit on them anytime they mention the difficulty of a game being too hard. And now that Elden Ring DLC's dropped, there are so many players that are now leaving so many negative reviews because they think the DLC is unfairly difficult. You either die a gamer or live long enough to see yourself become a journalist. The shoe's on the other foot here. So now there's people just fucking moaning about it being too difficult and being upset.
Okay. I'll tell you why this is happening and why people aren't wrong about it, alright? I'll tell you what, in the chat, this will take 10 seconds, ready? Okay, it's about the market you foster and the people you foster to and then what you actually do, okay? Here is the graph, okay, of difficulty over time, okay? Time being the side, the one on the X and the one on the Y is difficulty, okay? The people that make this fucking game, if you think like all the Souls game, okay? We're gonna talk about, let's say, Dark Souls 1, fucking 2, whatever, 3, whatever, Elden Ring, we're going that direction, okay? They make the market like this, okay? Most games, difficulty-wise, are gonna be like this. Most games, right? Most games are over here. We get it, okay? First game that comes out, their games are like this hard. And I don't remember how hard their games are, but they're kind of like this, okay? They're like this. So obviously, their market is the people that want to play a hard game and shit like that. And this is their market. There's the people that play their games and buy their games. That's what it is. So obviously, there is a game that's hard, and it's like over here, whatever, people might still like it to like 98% of that target. They're hitting their target. They made that audience, okay? If their next game is like difficulty over here, there's a good chance that some people might not like the fact that it's way harder. Some percentage of the players will accept this level of hard and it might accept all the way over here in hardness. They might accept it's a little bit harder or a little bit less hard. The thing is that this game was marginally much harder. Therefore, some people are saying the game is too hard. Because they expect their fun level compared to difficulty to be in this zone. It's that simple. Saying they're wrong is ridiculous. It's the market they built.
Set about that. Now, contrary to what some Twitter rage bait engagement is trying to...
Guys, you can say I'm loud, right? I'm loud. Dude, you're loud when you talk. What to tomorrow, every should I go like it. Rah, 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 rah. Chat, what's up, chat? Chat, today we're doing this. So chat will say, yo, dude, you're kind of loud. Yeah, well, I'm always loud. So I gotta be loud. So you're gonna why are you complaining? I'm just a loud guy. Well, dude, no, motherfucker, do you understand? You know what I'm saying? Like, even though people that watch the stream will tolerate some level of loudness, if I'm way louder, people will say, this is more loud than normal and I'm not having as fun, it's just annoying. That's what it is.
To lead you to believe.
That's what people that play Elden Ring are like. We accept hard equals fun. This is way fucking harder. I'm having less fun. It's not an invalid opinion.
Every bad review of the DLC is about it being too difficult and like soiling their diaper.
Oh no! Not only it's also kind of a bit laggy. There's some firmware issues on a lot of bosses and shit.
There are some legitimate complaints about it. Like a lot of people are citing performance problems, like a lot of issues with the DLC itself from the performance side of things. I haven't had any problems personally, but if that is something people are experiencing, that's a very legitimate reason to leave a bad review. But there is a ton of people leaving bad reviews about the difficulty. That is actually true. It's just not all of them. There's so much to unpack here, and it's time for a little tough love. So, I am a huge fan of Souls games. My favorite genre of video game is Souls-like. I play all of them. Not just like the FromSoft games, but all games in this genre. So even the super stinkers like Lords of the Fallen. I try them all because I really love this genre of game. And Elden Ring is tied for my favorite Souls game in existence. It's tied with Bloodborne. And the DLC, I think, is extremely good. It's not perfect. There are legitimate complaints to have about it, but one of them is...
I honestly think that Bloodborne's performance issues being on fucking console only makes the game unenjoyable. I said it.
Not the difficulty. This fucking DLC comes with built-in training wheels should you choose to activate them with the Scadu Tree fragments. As you collect these throughout the world, you'll get a boost to your offensive and defensive capabilities, serving as a permanent boost to DLC damage dealt and negation. So if you're tired of banging your head against the wall, getting your butt cheeks blasted by whatever boss you're stuck on, make like Marco Polo and explore the land collecting these sacred Dragon Balls here so that way you can have an easier time with the bosses. Or you could subscribe to the ancient belief system and just get good. Just be better. Elden Ring is also a game, really every Souls game, has always been a series really, where it's as difficult as you make it. There are broken builds that you can use, especially in Elden Ring. There's full-blown mechanics that are there to help you through difficult challenges. With summoning, you can just use a mimic tier to help you get through a boss. You don't have to go summonless. Like if you're struggling to a point that you're about to cast self-destruct like a Voltorb and leave a incendiary negative review on Steam because you can't beat the dancing lion, just use a fucking summon. You aren't good enough to do it without clearly, and what are you trying to prove anyway? Just use a summon, get through the boss, and enjoy the game. Like it's not like you're out here.
Real shit, chat, guys. If you think that a GTA 5 or GTA 4 is too hard to beat, brother, you can do a couple inputs and get a lot of money in the game for free, or you can be invincible if you use this cheat code. Okay, yeah, something is in the game. What do you get a question mark for? How's that the same thing? How's that the same thing?
You're trying to prove yourself as a man or whatever. Just use a summon in that case. Like I saw so many reviews saying like, I refuse to summon, but I also can't beat any of these enemies, so this DLC fucking sucks, it's poorly designed. No, you're just trash. Like, you're just trash, and you're not able to reach the challenge you've set for yourself. So, how about instead of blaming the DLC for your shortcoming, just use a summon, go grab some Scadu Tree fragments, and enjoy it. Like, this doesn't need to be some kind of torturous struggle. You're not held captive at Guantanamo Bay, forced to do a level 1 wretch playthrough.
Okay, chat, guys. I took a lot of Scadu Tree fragments, and I was like, I think, four tiers under max, or 5 tiers, and it's knowing what I know about the Scadu Tree plateaus or whatever, I was 4 off the max, right? Even if I was maxed out, it would have still been ridiculously hard.
Of the Elden Ring DLC. It's supposed to be fun, and it is. It is difficult, but that's always been one of the big selling points of Souls games, that they're challenging. And people used to, again, spit on those that would insult the series for being hard, and now with this one, somehow the prevalent discussion has been about how it's too hard and they've gone too far this time. It's not just Steam reviews, I've actually seen streamers saying the same thing, which is, it's blowing my mind. Like, I actually am shocked that we're at this point where everything needs to be so handholdy that now if you can't complete your challenge run of Elden Ring because the DLC is a little more brutal than what you're used to, it's the game's fault, and From Software fucked up. It's stupid, it's really...
Yeah, you guys say you, yet I beat the game faster than him with less attempts, and my build was shit. You guys act like I'm like an unskilled gamer. I clap the fucking game. Compare me to any of your streamers or YouTubers in amounts of tries per boss, right? I spent less attempts, less time with a worse build than most of your streamers. I clap their cheeks raw. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna debate this. I clap their cheeks raw. That's what it is.
Really stupid.
Holy
there
shit.
Is built-in systems here to make it easier for you. You can also use sorcery or something. Use fucking buffs. Use summons. Like, there's so many options for you to get through this DLC, and just because you're struggling to get through it with a challenge you've set for yourself isn't the DLC's fault. There are real criticisms for it, though. For instance, I'm going through this DLC, and I play all of Souls games summonless. I like to have it at the most optimal challenge imaginable, because that's the most fun for me in these kind of games. So,
guys, you saying that my build was overpowered is insane. With the build I had, okay, even when the boss gives me the biggest opportunity he can give me to attack him, I still have to trade damage for damage. Even when the boss lands, the minute he lands from his biggest, most stalling ability, if I do my attack, I still get hit by at least 1 hit. I have to trade and calculate my health. Guys, the build is one of the hardest to use, because you have to always calculate how much you're going to take for how much you're giving. There's no perfect way to play it. That's hard.
So I've been doing
That's
a punch
hard
only
mode.
build, and I've switched it to a punch and kick only build now with martial arts, and it's been extremely challenging and extremely rewarding. However, there have been 2 bosses so far that are actually not well made. One of them is Commander Gaius, Hog Rider. Hog Rider has 2 moves that come out where the hitboxes don't match the animations. So his charge, if you dodge it perfectly, sometimes you will still take the full impact, which often one-taps you, and also his, like, I don't even know what to call this move, where he like flails.
Ho ho ho! Then let me use his own thing against him. That's a skill issue. Baby, womp womp. Hitbox problem? That's not a valid problem. Womp womp. What a noob. Skill issue, Charlie. Get better at the game,
concert from 2006.
What?
That move will hit you pretty much anywhere.
Shit's broken as fuck. It's broken.
So anything aside from his colon, you're still going to take damage from, even if you do roll it right, at least most of the time. And then the other boss that has one bad set of moves is Mesmer. I actually really like Mesmer. I think he's a very, very, very cool boss. It took me 27 tries, so far that is the boss that's taken me the most amount of tries in all of Elden Ring on my punch-only run, and he was fantastic, except for one thing. His phase 2, he summons snakes. The snake's hitboxes are so fucking janky. The snake hitboxes actually are almost non-functional sometimes, like in the worst possible way. Like what you're seeing doesn't match what you're experiencing. Like the snake will completely fucking miss you, but then you'll still get hit sometimes. So that was a bit of a headache. So there is some jankiness to it that you can criticize. But to be leaving such terrible reviews only because it's difficult is absolutely juvenile. That shit is so embarrassing. This is some of the best DLC I played. FromSoft, I think, has always crushed it with their DLC, and this was no exception. I don't think it's their best DLC. I still like Bloodborne's DLC the most.
I feel like it makes it, guys. Genuinely, I feel like it makes it wrong if the game is a standalone game, right? If this is a game that's a DLC, brother, not only is this their market, it's also from the main game to the DLC. Okay, there's a reason why, guys. Why do you think people said that fucking what's her name again? Fucking Mikula Blade of Bullshit. Fucking. Dude, Millennia. People say, oh, Millennia's really hard. What if they had made Millennia around that level of difficulty for every boss in the game? Do you think that people would have complained? I mean, I think it would have been a reasonable complaint.
But I really, really appreciate this. This is the biggest
They would have
DLC
complained
I've ever
100%.
played. I'm not a big DLC guy. I'd rather just get another game down the line as opposed to like a little snack of something I already enjoyed. I'd rather just get something else later that's bigger. But this DLC, I've already pumped like 15, 16 hours in, and I still haven't finished. I'm loving it. It's huge. It really does feel almost like an Elden Ring 1.5. Like, it's that big. It has that much meat on its bones. The girth is impressive. And the music is beautiful. I love the new area. I love almost all of the new bosses, except here's a criticism that I think some people might.
Here's criticism. Spread the difficulty across the board if you're going to make it that hard. The problem is with the game that I had is that you spend 95% of your playthrough inside of a boss room. I think that's problematic. If you make overall the monsters hard, the zones hard, everything harder, it's like, wow, this is a hard DLC. This instead that, wow, this boss is sucking my balls for 10 hours. Fuck this shit. Dude, it is not the same thing.
Might not agree with. I'm pretty upset with how many bosses are mounted. I've already fought so many mounted bosses, and I think mounted enemies are kind of the lamest. Because the movesets are pretty derivative, like they're pretty similar, and I just don't really like the way mounted enemies fight, because usually it's a spam these couple of moves, then run away, and you're forced to kind of chase them.
Guys saying the skill issue. I clapped the game's cheeks.
As opposed to getting a punish right after the moves, you're gonna have to fucking chase them to get a little punish, and I don't really like that much, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. I've been really loving the DLC, but absolutely hating the conversation around it in regards to the difficulty of it. I don't think it's too hard, but I have always said that the challenge of the Souls-like genre is something that's always going to be a bit restrictive to some people. Not everyone's going to appreciate that, and there's nothing wrong with it. Like, if it's just not your cup of tea, that's totally fine to just say, like, hey, I don't really like the challenge of this, so it's not for me. That I have always understood, and I've mentioned that before in voice meters for previous Souls games. It is just very understandable to not want a really big challenge. But for the Elden Ring...
Did you kill Bale? No? Then don't speak. Who? Let me go look at this fucking spreadsheet, motherfucker. What is he talking about?
DLC.
Bale the Dread. Deaths 3. Deaths 3. I killed him in 4 tries. What? Oh man, get the fuck out of my chat. You're fucking dog chat games. This guy says skill issue, he didn't kill Bell. Yo, get the fuck out of the chat. You're dog shit video games, man. Dude, go back to Blockbusters. Give him the fucking copy back, bitch. Holy fucking loser.
These aren't just the normal, casual players coming in out of nowhere. The only way you get to the DLC is if you've already done a lot in the base game. So you should already be familiar with the challenge Elden Ring presents. Thus, going into the DLC, I really think you should have come in with the understanding that it's going to be hard. It should be hard. If it was anything less than difficult, it'd be very disappointing and a far cry from what made this genre so special in the first place. And I don't think they've done anything, nefarious with the scaling of the difficulty here. It's not too hard. You're making it harder on yourself by not collecting the material they put in here to make it easier, or not using certain mechanics to make it easier with summoning or sorceries or really strong weapons that have really good abilities. Like, there are so many options that you can use here to help you through the challenging portions of this game. And you can't start pointing the fucking finger at the game itself just because you're refusing to do those things because you think it's beneath you or something, or maybe it's shameful. I don't really know. But it's not the DLC's fault that you want to go through the game in the most difficult way imaginable and then be mad about about that when you have all
That's not even, guys. You're still missing the point. I think he's missing the point as well. Okay, listen. Here's another graph. Okay, here's a graph. Okay, of how bad your build is. Okay, to like success rates. Okay, the thing is that in the other games, I don't think this is this is not graphable. In the other games, if your build sucks, it'll take you like 3 times the attempts, 5 times the attempts. In this DLC, if your build is bad, it's like 50x, like 100x. Dude, I don't think that's a good thing. I don't think this is a good thing. Some of my work, don't copy this though. This is trademarked. Some of these equations lead to some very smart answers about a lot of topics. Do not steal my work, bro. I'm basically the modern Einstein. What about it? For me, this is just a Monday.